Today I'm going to show you a beautiful Portuguese property that's around 1.65 hectares or 4 acres in size. It sits in a peaceful green valley with plenty of privacy and lovely views in every direction. We're in a place called Rapoula in the Fundão Municipality of Central Portugal. The main house is a renovated granite home with thick stone walls, modern insulation, double glazing and a very comfortable layout. It also includes an independent studio, giving you a second self-contained living space that works well for guests or family. Everything has been cared for with a lot of thought and the whole place is completely move-in ready. The land here is something truly special. You have a full 1 hectare of fenced core that has been divided into vineyards, gardens, vegetable beds and fruit orchards with an incredible variety of trees and plants. The soil is rich, the water management is excellent and the property even stays green right through the summer. There is an 80-meter borehole, a well, rainwater tanks, grey water ponds and irrigation setup, which makes it ideal for anyone that wants to grow food or live closer to nature. You also have a large garage and workshop, covered outdoor spaces and peaceful walking areas right throughout the land. The property sits in a neighbourhood that values nature and sustainable living, and you can really see that by the surrounding land. You're only about 25 minutes from the city of Fundão that has all the amenities and shops that you could need, but you also have easy access to other cities like Castelo Branco, Penamacor, Covilhã and the Gardunha mountain range. For international travel, you're around 3 hours from the capital city of Portugal, Lisbon, and also Porto, and along with their international airports. So let's go on a full walking tour of this lovely property and explore what makes it so special. So we're going to start at the entrance to the property just over here, and I'm going to pop up a map on the screen now. I'm going to show you where the borders and boundaries of the land are, and I'm going to show you exactly where we're standing. So there is a short dirt track as you can see here, and this leads to the tarred road. It's only, I'd say 100 to 200 meters long, and this is taken care of by the council, so it's always in good condition. You enter the property by going through these metal gates over here. I like what they've done with these little flowers and things that they've woven through here. And open up the gates and we can see the driveway where the cars park, and we can also start to see a little bit of the house. So as you walk through, you've already got a sense that it's very private, very quiet and peaceful land. The trees that we can see lining all of the sides here where the perimeters are, unfortunately in winter don't have leaves on them, but there's loads and loads of trees, really beautiful. And if we look to our left, we've got lots of different species. We've got cork oaks, we've got regular oaks. Just in the background here we have this, I believe, is a walnut, and just lots and lots and lots of different types of trees, fruit trees, nuts. The land naturally goes down into a valley, so if we look where the house is, it's on the highest point, and then the land sort of steps down and goes into the valley. And what they've actually done is they've created lots of swales, different permaculture principles that actually collect and trap water. That's what these little rows are here, and we'll talk about those a little bit later. So I think for now we go into the house first, and after we've done the house we're going to go through the gardens. This is the garage on this side, we have the studio on this side, and then the main house is around the corner. But before we get there, I just want to point out that this is actually a gate that takes you through to another piece of land. It's a piece of woodland, and that piece of woodland has, well, they've started a little bit of a food forest in it. So let's walk through. We're going to do the studio last. I think we do the main house first. And look at this patio. It's a really beautiful patio space. They've got these grapevines that go over the top, and a lovely seating area. I'll just show you around the corner here first before we see the views, but just look at that. So imagine in the summertime when it's really hot, you've got the jasmine here in the corner and the grapevine just covering this whole area and keeping it nice and shaded. And this is a lovely seating area. There's actually a photograph that the owners have sent me of what this area looks like in the spring, and just look at that. A really nice little area to sit down. Beautiful little gardens even in the winter time, and really nice features like this beautiful old stone bench. And over here on the side we've got this big basin outside, and we can see on the outside of the building we've got these beautiful metal shutters, and they've got ones with different colors going down the outside. And actually, speaking of the outside of the house, we've got double glazing and insulation. We've got fly netting on all of the windows, and we also have roll down blinds or shutters, roll down shutters on the outside of all of the windows. So that's another really nice feature. And this over here, this is papyrus. This is the stuff that grows on the banks of the River Nile. This is what they used to make paper from back in the days. So there's lots of papyrus growing here, which is quite cool. And as we go through here, look at this, more beautiful covered areas. Obviously now in the winter, when you want more sunshine and you want more heat, there's no leaves. In the summer, when you want it to be cooler, there's lots of leaves up there and it's keeping it all nice and shady. But yeah, just an absolutely beautiful patio area that you can just imagine in the springtime. It's going to look absolutely incredible. As we go through here, look, we've got lots of citrus. And we've even got a beautiful little cat. And here's a view of where we've just walked from. And I just want to show you the outside of the house. Now you can start to see the granite stones that the house is made out of. And you can see these beautiful shutters. And this is the front door. Let's go inside. So the door is double glazed and aluminium. And we have a nice space indoors. I'm just going to close the door here so that we retain the heat. But this is an area where we can put our boots and our shoes, and it's a nice useful space so that before you walk in the house you can put everything down. One of the great features in this home is it's got underfloor heating. It has underfloor heating in some different areas. So this is the one that does the bathroom on this side. So there's a bathroom through these doors. Look at this beautiful door. I love the patina and the way that they've done it. And look at this lovely little door handle. And if we open this up, it takes us into a really quirky and cute bathroom. And let me just go in here quickly and have a look at these beautiful glass bottles that are built into the walls. And we can see some of the old granite stones. And if we look down on this side, we've got a lovely little bench area. The floor is really nice and warm on my tootsies, which is really pleasant in winter. And yeah, let me just stand back here and just show you. This goes into the kitchen area here, and we can see we've got some glass bottles and some little hints of the wooden rafters and the roof. And this theme sort of carries along here where we've got little stones in the walls. This is an old Singer sewing machine and they've repurposed it into a sink, which is really cute actually. I know Gina used to have one of these when I first met her. Back in 1901, no, I think it was one of her grandparents' ones. And then we have this lovely sort of cabinet on the side here. We got space for a washing machine, and just look at this. This is a really large bottle, and you can see how thick the walls are here, and you can see right through. It is kind of distorted, so people aren't exactly going to be looking straight into the bathroom. But also, you know, bear in mind that when you live out here, you aren't going to have people walking past. No one's looking into the bathroom. Window on this side, all the windows have fly netting and the roll down shutters. Toilet on this side, and then this is a big walk-in shower. It's really nice and functional. And if we go out through here, we can actually see how thick the walls are. Just look at that. So these are just big granite, thick walls. And then this is the kitchen. How awesome is that? I love the lighting. It's like a very cottagey, very cozy cottagey feel in here. We can see the old roof. This is the old original roof. And they have actually built upstairs, but they've left this here, and I quite like it. And I really like their furniture as well. It's very quirky, very, very artistic. In fact, the owners of the property are artists, and a lot of the artwork and a lot of the things that you see inside this house are their own. We're going to start on this side. We've got this lovely purple sofa over here. We've got a little dining room table that extends or closes down. And if we look on this side, we've got, this is an Adobe rocket stove. So this is a very cool thing. Basically, this whole bench area has a chimney or exhaust going through it. And you create a fire in here. So you lift this up and you create a fire. You can put twigs and you can put all sorts of stuff in there, because rocket stoves are really good at burning things. You can adjust the flue on here. And then what this does is it creates a fire that you can actually warm things up on the top of this. But most importantly, it creates a fire that heats up this whole seating area, and this radiates into the house. Now they've told me that they don't actually use this because they've already got underfloor heating, but I thought I'd show you anyway because it's really cool. And we can see the bottles on the other side of this wall. Another also really awesome thing is the owner, one of the owners is an aromatherapist. Now, since they've moved here, they've started distilling their own essential oils. And there's lots of herbs throughout the land. And if you look through here, they've got all of these herbs have been distilled right from the land here with all of the herb trees. And if we look further on into the kitchen, we've got a really nice kitchen. It's been made out of proper sort of chunky wood. Look at this. Real thick slabs of wood, all different types. And I really like the look and feel of it. It's very cottagey, very cozy. I keep saying that, but that's exactly how it feels in here. We have the gas cooker, we have the extractor fan above, and loads of countertop space, loads of storage space in these big chunky cabinets. And there's also windows that lead us through. This is to the back of the property. Beautiful views, and just look at the thickness of those walls. So with the underfloor heating, the climate in here is really comfortable because you've got these thick walls, the floors are nice and warm, and it just radiates through here. Some more windows just up on the top. We got double sinks. I love a double sink. You know, when you're washing up, you always have to rinse. And then we have a dishwasher on this side, loads and loads of space and storage, and then a big American style fridge freezer. So there's space for storing a lot of food in here. And let me just stand back in this corner and just give you a look at what this room looks like. So it's got a very nice feeling so far, and I'm enjoying this tour. I hope you are too. If we carry on in this direction, we get to the rest of the house, and we can see this whole section here is going into like living areas. We have a little like snug on this side. So they've got some sofas over here, a nice TV. This is what they use to watch movies and TV and things like that. We're going to be going up the stairs in a little bit. That takes you to the whole sort of roof loft areas. Over here, look at this. This is a bookshelf that they've made out of a bunch of aluminium ladders. I think that's really cool. I like the way they've done that. And if we spin around in this direction, we've got a nice little window seat. This looks out onto that patio area. And going through from here, we have a living room space. Look at this table. Beautiful. It's big chunky wood. You can seat lots of people around it. And then we have a very, very arty living room. Lots and lots of colors, lots of artwork. This is from the owners. This is all of their paintings and artwork. And we have space for a large sofa. A really nice, comfortable area. And it's also really well lit. Oh, I just knocked something over. In the other corner, we have space for a really big armchair. Super cozy again. I love the artwork. And this, I would say, is the heart of the home, especially in winter. This is a really big wood pellet burner. And this one's quite a fancy one. This is from Palazzetti. I think it's, well, an Italian brand. Basically, the way that these work is you put pellets in the top. This is a big hopper for the pellets. And you set the temperature you want. And it basically burns the pellets. When it gets up to temperature, it stops burning and more pellets fall in and it reignites itself. They were saying that they put a bag of pellets into this container over here, and they were saying that they use about 1 bag of pellets every 1.5 days. So, and a bag of pellets is around €3, and this thing's heating the entire house. It's a really amazing thing. Not only does heat come out of the top with like a fan assisted blower, but it also has at the back here, it has exhausts. So there's one over here that hasn't been connected, but potentially this could be connected to the upstairs loft area, so you can heat the whole upstairs. And there's also another exhaust that exits and goes into the room next door to warm it up. So it's super cozy and comfortable in here, even in the winter. And just past the wood pellet stove, we've got these lovely doors opening up onto the patio so you can access it from this side. Just to the left of it here, we have the bedroom. And what they've done is they've put these doors onto the bedroom. Because they're double glazed, they actually offer a bit of sound protection as well. So if someone's sleeping in here and someone's using the rest of the house, it's nice and quiet. We've got space for a big king-size bed. Look at that, absolutely massive. And let's just step down into here. You can see big windows stretching all the way up to the top. Lots and lots of views. And lots of lighting in here. Really nice space. On this side we have huge wardrobes, and let's actually walk into this corner here so I can show you. This used to be the old bread oven that came with the property, and they've actually just plastered over it. So this was an old original bread oven. And if we stand in this corner here, we can see just how big the room is. So it's a really nice space. We've got a ceiling fan in the room here, which is quite nice. You can blow down in the summer, sorry, you can blow the air down in the winter or in the summer, I can't remember which way around, and basically keep the room cooler or warmer depending. And here we can see the flue of the wood burner or the pellet burner, and this is the air vent here. So you can close this off if you don't want any more hot air coming in, or you can open it up and you get beautiful warm air coming into the room. So the heating is very effective. These thick walls seem to be very effective at keeping the heat in, and I'm guessing that in the summertime they're going to be quite effective at keeping it nice and cool in here. So as we walk through, and look at this lighting and look at all the colors, really nice. As we walk through, we get back to the snug area, and we're going to go around. Oh, look at this. I like this little table. We're going to go around and we're going to go upstairs. So let me just stand back here and show you these stairs. So we've got some wooden stairs that are leading up to this loft area, and it's a very usable space. It's a nice big space. Gives you loads and loads of storage. Let's have a look on the left here. Now obviously the ceilings back here are much higher, so you don't really have standing height in here, but it's absolutely perfect for storage. And as you can see, we have some Velux windows letting lots of light in. We have another Velux here. It also has a blind that pulls down if you want to, you know, keep it darker in here. And then we have this lovely little space. It's like a little studio space. And if we look in here, we can see the A-frame roof. We can also see this beautiful, thick, chunky beam that runs all the way across the top and all the way to the back. So to give you an idea of roof height, just in this section here, I do actually have quite a bit of space. I can actually walk through. It's only when I get to this pillar here that, you know, that the height isn't too high, but it's still a very usable space. The window up here is actually pretty cool. It opens up and you can see this part of the garden here. This is actually like part of the vineyard. There's little steps that go down. It's not actually a door, but it's very easy to use this as a little door to access the rest of the property. So that was the inside of the main house. Let's go on to the studio. And before we get there, just look at these beautiful plants. We've got some lovely ferns. We have, I believe this is called Peace in the Home. We used to have this in Cape Town in my garden. Lovely stuff, carpets. And again, I mean, just look at this beautiful patio area, especially in spring. Can you just imagine coming out here with your morning cup of coffee or tea? You can see lots of care, thought and attention has gone into building this place and setting up all of the gardens. So this is an interesting little feature. This is one of these old wash tubs. In Portugal you see these quite a lot. This is obviously has the water inside, and then they would have like the scrubbing board part up here. But they've repurposed it into a little wildlife pond. It's quite cute. It has a solar panel that runs a little pump, and that little pump seems to run these little taps, these little nozzles, run water through here, make a nice little pond. Earlier on there was a little frog swimming in here. Right, let's focus. I'm getting sidetracked. There's so many cool things to look at. This is the studio. They use this as a studio. They use this for friends and family, and it's a really nice space. We've got an aluminium double glazed front door like the rest of the property, and when we walk through, let me just kick my shoes off. You can see we've got a really nice space in here. We've got lots of big windows, really tall windows that are showing us amazing views. If you look down here, we have a lovely workspace. Imagine sitting at your laptop or your computer and doing your work or your reading and writing. In front we've got a lovely little sitting area, perfect for entertaining. We also have air conditioning just up on the top here. So this is an air-conditioned apartment. And I really like the floors. Look at that. We've got the primary colors, red, yellow, blue, black and white. And, well, before we get there, let's just have a look at this side. This is like a little kitchenette. Got some storage up here. Again, lots of primary colors. Looks really bright and airy and fresh in here. We've got some storage. We have a little refrigerator just on the side, a little sink, and we also have some of these glass bricks just in the wall over here, which I really like. And then the door, they've done some kind of, what do you call that? Almost like a mosaic with different photographs and things, which is really cool. This leads into a bathroom with another really colorful floor. On the side of the bathroom here, we have the walk-in shower. And on this side of the bathroom we have the toilet and the basin, and just above that we have some windows. And looking back from the bathroom, really nice, bright, airy space, tall ceilings, really good feeling in here. We go around the corner. This is a big sleeper couch. They've actually opened it up into a bed now so you can see the space, but it's a really big one. And then we've got some storage on the side, really high ceilings again, also with a fan up on the roof. Another interesting feature is they've already got a flue in here, and this flue is for connecting another pellet stove. So if you wanted to, instead of using the air conditioning to heat this, you could have a pellet stove in here, and that would make this place nice and toasty. And yeah, a really cool little self-contained studio flat. What do you guys think? So it doesn't end there with these rural properties. There's always so many little things to explore. So follow me. We're going to go around the corner. This is where we entered the property earlier, and we've got a really big garage. I believe they were saying it's about 60 square meters of space. So it extends all the way along the house there. This is an electric garage. So it's got an electric opener, which is quite handy. And once we go in here, you're going to see tons and tons of space. But what is also quite nice about this is this adds a whole new layer of insulation onto the property. So these are like, well, this is the new studio that was built. But if we go through here, we can actually see the old stone walls of the main house. So that's the exterior. And then all of this acts as extra insulation, which is really nice. And as you can see, I mean, there's so much space here to store everything you need. And this takes us on to the water system. So we have an 80-meter borehole that's outside. The 80-meter borehole goes through this two-stage filter over here. And we also have a selector switch that basically allows you to select between the borehole or the well. So you have two different water sources. So here's the view of the driveway going to the front gates. And while we're up here, I just want to take you around the corner and show you this little section. So on the side of the house here we have this little raised bit, and this is like a vineyard that stretches up here and around to the back of the house. Now at the moment vineyards don't look great because it is winter time, they've got no leaves, but in the summer this is going to be really nice and green. Here we can start to see some of the lavender. There's around 20 different types of herbs all over the property. And just over here we can see the borehole. So this is the 80-meter borehole. Now when they got this borehole dug, they actually went through 3 different aquifers and they got down to 80 meters. They didn't just dig down and get to one aquifer and go, right, let's stop. They've actually gone down through 3 of them. So this is a borehole that they ran for, when they did their testing in the beginning, I believe they ran it for about 2 hours to see if it runs dry. This thing would not run dry. This is a very, very deep and a very productive borehole going through 3 aquifers. Here's just a view of the house from this side up here. We can see the main sort of A-frame, and we can see the new bit of the house that got added on. And let's just go down in this direction. This is the little vegetable garden section. We have some more of this papyrus reed here, and we got some more fruit trees over here. And this is a little veggie section. Look how they've twined the branches going over the top. Such a pity that we can't see this property in the spring or the summer because it looks so much different. This will all just be covered in leaves. It'll be nice and shaded down here. This is the irrigation system. So in here we have 2 computers that control the irrigation, and we have different valves and things that send water off in different directions. Now I've been told that the water basically goes everywhere. So they've got one of the systems that runs the entire perimeter of the land, watering all of the trees. We also have a system that goes through all of these veggie gardens here. So we've got all like the veggies, and we've got little potting gardens. We've got pipes that basically keep water running through all of these different areas. And then if we look into the actual garden outside of this area, we can see we've got these different, like almost like hedgerows, but what these actually are, these are permaculture swales, and these are all irrigated. So in the summertime you've got green areas running all the way down here, and then the actual area that's all around the house here that we're looking at, so all of these trees and this whole area around the house, this is all green, even in the middle of Portuguese summer, which is pretty impressive. Again, it's a real shame that I've come here at this time of year and not in the spring when this whole garden is just going to be looking absolutely magical. But we do get to see some nice winter things like this citrus tree over here. Just look at the absolute size of this thing. This is massive. This is a big lemon tree that just produces so many lemons. And we can see on the ground we've got tons and tons of clover, so there's lots of nitrogen in the soil. Just in front of us is this lovely little area here that they've set up with a whole bunch of different broken tiles. And we can see a lovely little seating area where you can sit and survey the land. And if we look from here, if you're sitting down, just look at the views, listen to the birds. Here's another angle of where we were standing, and here's a photograph of what it looks like in the springtime. Really nice. So as we walk down, we can see these swales a bit better. So there's one over here, there's one over here. They've got 6 proper sort of swales going all the way down. And then they also have these over here where they've started to compost. They're using like almost compost swales. So they've been putting some of the garden waste down here, and this is almost making a natural swell. And we can see we've got a couple of them. So we've got one here and a couple of them. And these basically trap rainwater as it works its way down the land. And that's basically going to help compost all of this stuff down, make a really nice, rich, fertile bed. It's going to trap water in so that in the summertime when it's really dry, you've got all this nice composty material, lots of plants and things growing in it, and it's keeping a lot of moisture in the soil. Now as I walk down to the bottom field, we've got lots of oak trees, cork oak trees. We've got a regular oak, we have lots of cork oaks popping up all over the place, which is really amazing. This is a nice fenced area that's actually quite easy to maintain. It's quite easy just to cut the grass in here, and if we just spin back for a second, we can look back up to where the house is. You know, this is quite a manageable area. It's not like you've got a huge piece of land that you have to sort of cut and trim. So let me pop up a map on the screen quickly, just show you where we are in the garden here. We're going to move on to another section, which is at the bottom here. Now they've fenced this off, so it's all fully fenced. If you have dogs or anything like that, you can bring them straight in. You don't have to worry about them running away. This kind of steps down into a really nice bottom field. And if you listen closely, you're going to hear the running water. So this is a little stream that basically runs during the rainy months. It goes through the land underneath this little bridge and out through this side. And then we've got this big field here with huge olive trees. Look at the size of these old olive trees. This is all also fenced off, and we're going to go down here in a bit. There's a little pond down here. It's actually a nice little wetland. And because this is so low and because the water's so close to the surface, we have green grass here all year round. So let's start on this side over here. Look at all this clover. Clover is really good for putting or fixing nitrogen in the soil. You can tell that this soil is really good here. See this little stream. So pretty. And then we basically have this piece of land that goes up to this fence line over here. You can see there's little fence poles. So that's the border of the land there. So I'll just show you on a map where we are on the property right now. So there's a little retaining wall over here, and on the other side we've got some madroño, which is basically strawberry tree. It's called a strawberry tree, and they make aguardente, strawberry aguardente out of this, which is a type of really strong moonshine liquor. And this is where the well is. So this concrete building over here houses the well pump. It's got electricity to run the well pump, and as I said earlier, that well is connected to the main, so you can choose between the borehole or the well water. And the actual well itself is covered by this netting and everything over here. So this is the well just underneath there. So we're going to make our way to the natural pond, and I'm just walking along the outskirts because I'm not wearing I'm not wearing boots today. I don't want to get my feet wet. And this is the very sort of wet field at the bottom. So imagine in the summertime when it's all really hot, down here it's still going to be a little bit damp, and you're going to have nice greenery. Might be really good for pasture, for animals or something like that. But it's going to be full of beautiful wildflowers and yeah, a really nice little bit of nature for insects, birds, bees and things like that. Now, if we look to the side, this is where this little river is, this little stream. It comes through here, and they've made a little dam over here so that it will run through and along into this little pond. I love the sound of running water on land. Now bear in mind that this won't run in the summertime. This is just like a rainy season thing, but still, you could actually do something about that. This is the pond, and imagine if you were to dig this out a little bit more and you were to line it with clay, then you could retain water in here even in summer. But we can see at this time of year, look what happens. It's damming up. It's actually spilling into the fields here, and you've got like a wetland. And imagine if you do actually clay this off so it becomes waterproof, you could potentially use this well over here to keep water in it. So you could pump water from the well and have a nice little natural swimming pool, little pond or something like that. That's the thing I love about properties like this, is there's so many different possibilities and so many ways that you can make your mark on the land and do your own thing with it. Or just let nature do its own thing, and you'll always be amazed. Alright, so let's walk back up and through, and we're going to go into this main section of the property again. Let me just pop up on a map where we are, just so you can see. Just to our left over here, we've got lots of olive trees. I believe they were saying they've got over 40 olive trees. I don't know the exact amount, but you can see they're all quite big, and they're going to be producing lots of olives for you. Now the house is up in this direction. We're going to make our way through here. There's a couple more things I want to show you here in this garden, but there's also a food forest. We're going to get to that in a bit. So we can see a couple of these little swales that they've made out of some of the garden waste, and this is all going to compost down in the summertime. In the springtime they put seeds in here and flowers grow through them, and yeah, just imagine, it's going to look so pretty. And here are the views looking back down from where we came. We've had lots of rainy weather for the last couple of weeks, so it's an absolute pleasure to be able to show you this property on a beautiful day like this. So this over here is a beautiful little pond, and I'll show you what makes this pond so special in a moment. It's got little froggies and little fish living in it, and this is a really nice clean nature pond. But back here, this is actually a grey water filtration system that results in this beautiful pure water. Essentially what happens is the grey water from the bathroom, any grey water from the house, they basically send through this water system. These are little solar panels that are running air pumps. The water goes into these little beds over here, and so the grey water with soap and all sorts of stuff goes in here, goes through all the reeds and everything. These air pumps blow bubbles through and basically bring oxygen to the bacteria that break down all of the grey water, passes through all of these different reed beds, and then you end up with really nice clean water. And if we look here, we can see it's full of life. A little frog just jumped in there. We've also got some water plants here that are also going to be eating nitrates and things from the water. And then eventually that ends up in that little section that we looked at in the very beginning. Really clear, clean water. And it's quite nice to have stuff like that around the property, because, in the summertime when everything gets really dry and it's really hot, having something like that for the insects and the birds and even the cats to come and drink out of is really awesome. From here we can see the house. We can actually see where the front door, where we go into the main house, is. And there's a really big tree over here, a mandarin tree, really big and full of fruit again, and full of clovers. Just look at all these clovers. These over here are tanks. These are 1,000 litre tanks. There's two of them, so there's 2,000 litres, and they basically get the rainwater from the roof on the gutters that comes through these pipes, fills up these tanks, and then you can basically send it to where you want and use it on the property. So there's lots of permaculture principles being used on the land, and I really like their use of water and recycling of water. If we go through here, we have a nice little flat terraced area. They've got their compost bins down here. They have a really nice mimosa tree actually. So this is a mimosa tree. It's just one of them. There's not a whole bunch of them, but look at the size of it. And this is the only part of the property where you actually can see a glimpse of the next neighbour's house. So there's a glimpse of it there. And what the owners have told me is that the neighbours are, they're really good neighbours. They're really quiet. They keep it to themselves. They're also very, eco-conscious. They look after the land, and there's only a few neighbouring houses that actually are on this particular road of theirs. So the council has to come and keep the road nice and usable, but it also means that there's no traffic really. There's only a couple of houses dotted down here with people that live and take care of the land. And then if we look across in this direction, we have this old stone wall. Now we can see the back of the house. We can see the bathroom and that big bottle, which I really like. We can also see the upstairs loft and that window that you can walk through and go down those stairs. And we can also see a little bit of the vineyard in the back. But again, at this time of year, you can't really see much of it because there's no leaves. So there's one more thing to show you guys, and that is the food forest. But just behind this gate is the food forest. I'll show you on a map exactly where this is. And if you open up the gate, we can see part of the forest. We've got lovely pine. Now, it is on the other side of this little track, but as I said earlier, this track it's only basically going to your neighbours, and it's not really in use very much. So nice and quiet. And just look at this. We've got all these pine trees in the background here. It's basically from where we see these mimosas, that's the border, and then it goes into where these pines are here. And you have all of this land. They've cut all of this back here, so there is a nice sort of space around the house that's clear of trees. And we do have some hardy species like these cork oaks and things that are growing here. So we have those dotted up all around the place. Those are going to start to take over. We also have lots of natural things here. So this is a rock rose. And in the springtime, these have got amazing pink or white flowers on them. And they're quite sticky. They've got like a sap on them. The bees absolutely love them. You're going to have tons of bees and everything all foraging through this area. And so they've done permaculture principles through this little bit of land as well. And as we walk up, we can see they've dug sort of trenches and swales that basically work its way down the land. And before we get to this forested section here, which is going to give you loads and loads of firewood if you wanted firewood, let me just turn you around quickly and just give you a look of what the land looks like. Really nice space. So I've been told that through this forest, at the moment obviously being winter, it's difficult to see, but they're also making these sort of compost beds, and they're also growing different seeds and things in here during the spring. So you're going to have nuts, you're going to have berries, and essentially you're going to have a little food forest where you can walk in and you can pick fruits, pick nuts, pick berries. It's actually a really nice space as we're walking through here. I hope the camera's picking it up. We've also got amazing mushrooms. Look at this. I don't really know much about mushrooms, but that looks fantastic. Look at that thing. And let me get into this more forested area here. I haven't actually been in here before, but we can see there's definitely lots of firewood here. So if you wanted, you could start collecting all of this. You could get a, wood burner or something. Not that you need it, but yeah, some forestry land. Look at that. And some beautiful pine trees. Well, that's been quite the tour. I've really enjoyed that. It's such a quirky property. I really love the thought that they put into the whole place, and I even like the different choices that they've made, putting like little bottles on the walls, and I mean, it's just a really cute place. It's got an amazing feel. It's super cozy. The gardens, sadly, we can't see those gardens, in their full glory right now. But just imagine in the springtime, they've planted so many different things. The gardens are laid out really well. They were telling me that there's a microclimate where at the bottom of the valley it's a lot cooler and then it's warmer at the top. So they can grow loads of different things, where you have citrus that need the hot temperatures, or cherry trees that they have in the sort of dip of the valley. It's a very interesting property. And if you are interested in buying this property, have a look in the video description below. It's for sale by a private seller, and it's listed on a website called pureportugal.co.uk. It's an awesome website. It's been going for about 15 years. They have loads of amazing properties all around Portugal, so definitely check them out. And I hope you've enjoyed this one, and we'll see you again in the next one. All the best. Ciao.